Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how your word manifests and creates your reality. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I got an email from a subscriber who said, Tom, my thoughts are going crazy. And I know most of them are in response to what's going on in my experience right now in the 3D world, but I don't know how to get control of them. I thought maybe you could unpack that. Well, guys, we're going to unpack this today and more. Here's the thing. It's never about controlling your thoughts. When you try to control your thoughts, you're resisting them. And what you resist persists. Right? You keep having the same thoughts and you attract other ones. So it's not about them. Let them be. Instead, create your inner experience. Create the story you're telling yourself. Use the word to create your experience. Hear this. We all know, right, by now, that our inner world creates our outer world. We've heard this, right? But what creates, and then that outer world creates our outer experience. But what creates our inner world? Our inner world is created by our inner experience. What creates our inner experience? Our inner speech. What influences our inner speech? Our word. The words we use. In John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The power of the Word. Jesus talks about the power of the Word when he does his healings. It's that belief, that's the faith, right? Your words create your reality. How? They create it by the inner speech you're using, by the story you're telling yourself. That story then creates your inner experience. That inner experience then creates your inner world. That inner world then creates your outer world. That outer world then becomes your outer experience or your life experience, right? And then that outer world attracts new thoughts. Remember, when you change your inner world, when you change your inner experience, you create new thoughts. You attract new thoughts, empowering thoughts. How? All by changing the words you're using, all by changing your inner speech. That's big. So let's unpack it a little bit more. This is what Genevieve Davis says, the author of the magic books, right? Becoming Magic, Doing Magic, etc. It's your words that shape your experience, not the people, events, and circumstances of your life. It's not. It's the words. It's your inner speech, right? The people, events, and circumstances are merely effects. Right? They're extras in your play. They're extras in your movie, right? Your inner experience creates your outer experience. Always, right? And this is big. So it starts with your inner speech, your story, the word, right? And then that word then becomes your inner experience. You now embody that. You're now embodying those words. You're embodying that inner speech. It's becoming who you are within, and then it must be expressed in the outside world. That's what John 1:1, that's what the ancients were saying. In the beginning was the Word. In the beginning was your inner speech, your story, the Word. And then the Word was with God. That now becomes embodied. That now becomes your inner experience. And the Word was God. Then it becomes manifested in your outer world. It becomes your outer experience. It becomes your life experience. That's what the ancients were pointing at with that. And to go a little further, in Isaiah 65:24, it will come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are still speaking, I will hear. Notice the tenses, they're mixed, right? It will come to pass, future, before they call, right? Implying the past, right? I will answer, future, while they're still speaking, present, this is the progressive, present progressive, and in the future I will hear. It's beyond time and space, right? It's all happening right now. That's what the ancients are saying. Before you even call, before you speak the word, before you say it, before you think it, before you have that inner speech, I will answer. Your prayers have already been answered, right? God already heard you. It's all happening now. Creation's finished. And then while you're still speaking, I will hear. It's all happening now. Right? But how? By your inner world. It's all beyond space and time. This is cool. So, will my word be, which goes forth from my mouth? It will not return to me empty, without accomplishing what I desire and without succeeding in the matter for which I sent it. This is big. It's using the words, what I desire. Isn't that cool? And then without succeeding in the matter for which I sent it. When you say the word, when you tell the new story, it must manifest. It must go forth and manifest your desire. or what you don't desire. It depends what word you're using. It depends what story you're telling and what thoughts you're attracting to that story. This is big, right? Just say the word and my servant will be healed. This comes from when the centurion wanted to heal his servant, wanted Jesus to heal his servant. And he said to Jesus, just say the word and my servant will be healed. The centurion knew the power of the word, knew the power of Jesus' spiritual authority through his word, right? That is powerful. And then the centurion says, for I also am a man under authority. I say to this one, go, and he goes. And I say to another, come, and he comes. The centurion is saying to Jesus, I know that you have that power on a spiritual level because I have it on the 3D level, right? I have authority to tell people to do this or that, and they do it. The centurion understood the power of the word, understood that when you enchant that word, when you enchant those words in the 3D world, when you imbue them with the power of that dimensionally larger you, they become spiritually powerful. They become divine. They create your reality, right? Now, when Jesus heard this, he marveled. The Creator, the Savior, right? The Savior, the King of Kings, marveled. And he said, I have not found such faith with anyone in Israel. He was marveling at the faith of the centurion because the centurion knew the power in the word, right? So it was through the faith of the centurion, it's through the centurion's word that his servant was healed. Right? Wow. For by my words you will be justified, and by your words, not my words, by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Again, Jesus saying that you will create your reality according to your words, according to your inner speech, according to the story you're telling yourself. Tell a new story. Enchant your words, right? This is what we're talking about. So, make your word and inner speech a natural and real part of who you are, right? It's not about empty affirmations, right? Some that do daily affirmations, it becomes a chore. It becomes something they have to get out of the way. Instead, make the affirmation a part of who you are from that inherent grace and power, from that truth. Genevieve Davis says, pick something you would like to be true and start telling that story. You are always telling a story, and that story attracts like thoughts. Right? You're telling a story anyway. Tell the story about how you want it to be, and it will be, right? Daily affirmations can feel like work. If they feel like work or something to get out of the way, they're going to ring hollow. Instead, tell that story from your heart, from a place of truth, because it is the truth. Right? You are God. You are that dimensionally larger you. It's all within you. Your inner being is speaking through you. Enchant your words. That's your inner being speaking through you. Just know that with every word you say. That's God speaking through you. That's powerful, right? And then when Jesus was in front of the grave of Lazarus, right before he raised Lazarus from the dead, through spirit, right? Father, I thank you that you heard me. You have heard me. I knew that you always hear me. Again, beyond time and space. Notice the tenses. That you have heard me. Present perfect, right? I knew, simple past, that you always hear me. Present simple. Always hear me. I knew. Right? Again, it's beyond time and space. Everything's happening at the same time. Creation's finished. Right? And again, it's the power of the words that you heard me and that you always hear me. God always hears you. Why? Because that's your higher, dimensionally larger you speaking through you. Right? Even before you say it, right? In that moment, so what happens then when stuff comes up in the 3D world? When stuff that you judge as negative or things that you judge as unwanted? When contrary stuff comes up, in that moment, you have the power, you change to say something different, to think something different. Your whole future changes. This is what Genevieve Davis says. In that moment, you change to say something different, to think something different. Your whole future changes course. It changes everything. It not only changes the future, it not only changes the present, but it changes your past. It changes the whole fabric of your universe, right? Of your life experience. Not just the present, not just the future, but the past. Remember, it's all happening at once. It's all a hologram, right? When you affect any part of that hologram, you affect all of it. Right? Wow, that's big. Not only the future, but the present moment and the past changes, right? Your words, your story creates reality. Let's be clear here. That's your gift. This is what Genevieve Davis says. In any moment, you can have completely different experience of whatever's going on. That's the gift. In any moment, with the story you tell, with the words you're using, you can have a completely different experience of whatever's going on. You create your own reality. Not just in the future, but right now. That's big. So, guys, so again, I want to get back to this. In John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. It's that word. What's your word? That's that inner speech. That's that inner story. That's your word. That creates your inner experience. That inner experience then becomes embodied, becomes who you are, and that then manifests in the outside world. That then becomes your outer world. That then becomes your outer life experience. That's big. That's how your word creates and manifests your reality. I am your host, Tom Caron, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. Hit us up on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Caron, our website at tomcaron.com or BeSomethingWonderful.com, or write me anytime at info@BeSomethingWonderful.com. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, with great love, see you soon.